Why is there a halo above certain people's heads in pictures? What does it represent? What does it mean to have a halo? And how do they achieve it? Well, it represents that special being has died and rebirthed so many times, there's not much what passes its gauge. And rather than controlling his environment or her environment, they accept it for what it is. And they appreciate the two energies, well, the three energies, because matter has energy as well. They appreciate it. And they're not misled or misguided, because they would have been the baddie and the goodie. They would have been the hero. Now they're the teacher of the way, of the path. So it's like putting loads of holes inside of you, and then you drink water, and the water escapes out the holes. But each hole that the water goes down is an emotional. So water is emotional. It's the female energy. It's where the moon rules. The moon rules this place with emotion. Your emotions do not follow you into your next world. They stay here. Yeah? And whether or not you come back down, which you probably will do if you've got ties with your emotions here, because the idea is to transform, get rid of them. So, like whatever problem that comes your way, you have to deal with it emotionally, but with intelligence. And when you deal with it, it won't happen to you again. And if it does happen to you again, look how you reacted the last time. Are you reacting the same way that you did the first time? So go back to the analogy of drinking water into a body full of holes. Now before you drunk that water, in them holes, they're all dark. I see lots of them on you. I've still got some. There's still holes in my body. And then when I have a flood of information or a flood of emotion experiences, they trickle out. They trickle out. Certain holes you can close, but if you turn your attention to it, like a builder would do, a builder has to work out where the water table is. The builder has to work out, and the architect, and the engineer, they have to all work together to make sure that person doesn't get a flooded house. The flow of water, because the flow of water will destroy everything. It's emotional. Imagine if your house got flooded, everything in it. You can't replace stuff like that. It destroys it. Everything's soggy. Everything's wet again. So, the builder, the architect, and the engineer, what they do is they form an alliance, and they can create a system where they can build. They ask the local authority if they're able to build there. Is there any water there? It's the same as your body. The cells in your body are exactly the same. The local authority is you. You are the governor. You govern your mind. And you have cells ready to do whatever they want for you. They're ready. But this builder and this architect and engineer haven't learned a degree of masonry on how to correct and modify buildings with a flood. They only went to school for a year. Or it could be the other way round. They could be very, very advanced in the inner standard on how it works, but they've never picked up a tool Yeah? It's exactly the same as your cells. Your cells need to be penetrated with information and by doing, so they can remember what to do. There's only so much you can do. It's like getting the will. So if I start to move a wheel, and I start to move it, eventually it's harder to get it to move at the start, but as the ball starts to roll, I have less effort because it uses its own weight, okay, to keep moving. Same as your cells. Your cells have memories, but you've got to get them to start to move. You've got to create that friction, that remembering. So to do that, you start to penetrate them with information. You start doing as well. You can't just be one of them. You've got to do it as well, right? Because remember, all cells have different parts to them. So one of them would be, the builder. One of them would be, but you're all of them. The difference is in this world, you should see cells as people. One person is good at something better, and then someone else is better at something else. Yeah, because they've used their angle of light and they've created the atom inside of them, and they've done practice by practice and become one. But as I've said before in many of my videos, the person that you're talking to, if I wanted to build a house, I'm talking to the atom inside of him, which is me. And he's talking to the atom inside of me, which is him. We are talking in atom level. With emotion, the female. Okay, so let's go back to it, what I was saying. These enlightened beings that you see an aura behind their head will have no shadow on their face, no shadow on the floor, because they are whole. Not holes, whole. Because they've fixed every single hole in their body, so when they drink that water, it doesn't come out. Wherever that water goes is emotional. So wherever the trauma is, that water's going to find a stray way. It always finds the easiest path. But what they do, they hold and build their cells around them holes, and they cure the hole. There's no more hole there. And then the water can fill and fill and fill. So you get all this emotional, not losing it anymore. You get all this female, the Holy Spirit inside of you. The Holy Spirit, what magnificence. Salty water inside of you, ready for an electrical beam to be created. And once that's created, enlightenment. Because, see, water is a great conductor, and electric is the father. Now, if you've filled every part of your body with water, which is emotional, you've gone through it, you felt it, you've understood it, because words are emotional, but lettering is the father, information is, going through it is the mother. If you filled everything up with your water, imagine what electric would do when it hits you. You illuminate. You illuminate everything, every part. Every blood vessel inside of you has been filled with water. There's no holes. There's no darkness. There's no shadow inside of you. So you know these beings have lived many years and now become a teacher of the light, and how to form the light, how to create the light, how to harness the light. And they've died and rebirthed, which means they've done the journey from the source back to the source. In my other videos I explained that. They've done their circuit, they've completed it. Now they're electrical beings, having a physical experience to become a teacher. And when they speak, their words are so emotional, people write them down and they last forever because they're teachings. See, how many people do you know have wrote books and no one's ever heard of it. But yet these beings that have been here before are explaining about human existence, and their words last forever. One man or female, when I say man I mean human, but one man stands there with a reflection of nothing. He just got Holy Spirit inside of him, which means the Father can come down and illuminate. This person stands in front of you, or this being stands in front of you, illuminating everywhere. Not like a torch, not going in a room with a torch. You're going in a room with light, which every single corner of that room will be lit up. There ain't nowhere that darkness can hide. But I'm not saying you fear the dark. I'm saying is that you want to learn about the dark with the information that are given to you. Because these are your holes that you have to fill up. Scared of your own shadow. Scared of your own past. What have you missed in your past life that you have to go back to and recorrect and put some more light on it? Have you forgiven yourself? Because whatever happened in your past life, your cells in your body were part of it. You hold emotional attachment to the past, which doesn't serve you in the present, but it still holds in the body. A car crash. How long does your neck hurt for? If you had whiplash, how long? The cells will remember. The cells remember how. The cells remember everything. They remember the person standing in front of you. They remember my voice. Your cells. You are the observer. So it would make perfect sense that if there's been trauma in your life, that you have cells that remember the trauma, and what they do, they're very clever. They have a grid light system which expands and explains to the new cell what they've experienced. So then now the new cell follows with the trauma that cell's never even experienced, but it's just been told to remember. It's like picking up the phone, ringing up someone, you know, and telling them how your day's gone, and that person feels like they've gone through it as well. No different. It's no different. You're making that person feel the same way you feel, and that person's dreams start to water because you've used words. Words move people. Words are the female. We have been divided and separated so many times because our crystals are fragmented. So it's all about going around, picking up your crystal, putting it back inside of you, and covering up the holes and glowing like the lords that you have seen. Krishna, Vishnu, Jesus, Joshua, the Buddha, all of them. They've all got light around their head, but it comes from the heart. The sun is always shining. It's the clouds that stop the sun coming through, but the sun is always shining. These clouds will disappear the moment that we all start thinking the same way as our prophets and the Messiah. You've got the ability to go through your body and heal anything, any hole. Don't open up the floodgates too much, because you need to go through the emotions to put light on it. You need to go into that dark room and use a torch. But I want you to use that torch and explain the whole room. And when you explain the whole room, close your eyes. And then you see that Jesus rope that he puts down on you, grab the Lord's rope. And as you pull that rope, the whole room lights up. You will have no shadow. You will have your aura. But it's a journey. I love you. Love, live and empathize, guys. And thank you for listening. I appreciate. And I appreciate you.